Okay. So Luz Kennedy, she's a member of our church, and the visitation will be this Monday from 6 to 8, and the service will be at 10 a.m. Till noon here at the church. And also Doris Durham, the visitation for her will be this Tuesday from 6 to 8 p.m. at Toll Funeral Home, and Wednesday from 10 to 11. And the service will be here at Evangel. If you're able to come in attendance and show your support for the family, be greatly appreciated. We thank God for the legacy that these people leave behind for their children, their great-grandchildren, and they will be remembered. They remembered for their faith. And it's also a beautiful thing when the church comes together and we flood the funeral homes. Okay, it says quite a testimony of when more and more people show up. And even if you don't know them, but you know they attended here, church, it's a good practice for us to have, to go and to visit and just to give them your condolences. And it'll be a testimony for maybe they have some unbelieving family members that are there. And you'll be like, wow, that's a supportive church. If you're in agreement, can you say amen? Awesome. This morning, I'm pausing from what I've wanted to preach as your pastor, and I want to take you on a journey that I've been going through. Now, I've been going through this journey for the longest time, but sometimes your journey is highlighted, and when you're going through something, you can almost point it out on a calendar, and you say, well, this month or these months or that week or this day, it's kind of just pops. It's highlighted. It's like it's a core memory. It's something that you remember. Just like we'll be able to say, was it pre-COVID or post-COVID? We're gonna remember. Or it was like, the Black Plague back in those days. It's like a big comma in the linear time calendar, and it's like, I remember that. I remember that season of my life. And in church, I believe that many of us are going to continue to go through ups and downs and all arounds, but at the end of the day, all of this is for something. All of this is for something. It's continual growth and character development, because that's what God is after. This morning's message, I didn't really know what to call it. The Lord is my portion. That's the context of it. We get that phrase from Scripture, but I wanted to call it 2.5 acres. 2.5 acres. It's kind of something that I want to be my portion. I want that to be an inheritance that I would pass on to someone. 2.5 acres. Just what does 2.5 acres look like? Well, we're sitting on it. Evangel Church is built on more or less 2.5 acres. But before we go into that, just understanding, just giving you a bit of a preview of where we're going into, like my portion, what are we after? I want to take you to one of my favorite Psalms, Psalm 23. I only have the first verse on the screen, but I think we should read all 6 verses. So would you stand with me as we read the 23rd Psalm together? If you know it, you can recite it with me. It's a Psalm of David. The Lord is my shepherd. I have all that I need. He lets me rest in green meadows. He leads me beside peaceful streams. He renews my strength. He guides me along right paths, bringing honor to his name. And even when I walk through the darkest valley, I will not be afraid, for you are close beside me. Your rod and your staff protect and comfort me. You prepare a feast for me in the presence of my enemies. You honor me by anointing my head with oil. My cup overflows with blessings. Surely your goodness and unfailing love will pursue me all the days of my life, and I will live in the house of the Lord forever. You may be seated. There's two words that you'll hear me say interchangeably, the word inheritance, and maybe an older version of that word, which is portion. You're maybe more familiar with that word portion when it comes to what we eat. I'll have a portion, or I ate 2 portions. But at the end of the day, what we're really after is an inheritance. So going back to 2.5 acres. Pastor Mike, what's up with your 2.5 acres? I have a dream. I like to think big. And maybe 2.5 isn't big. But for me, it's big. You want to know why? Because it means a lot of grass to cut. I can barely cut the grass I have at home. I say, I want to put turf, honey. I want to put turf. Or concrete. Just get rid of the grass, just concrete everywhere. I'll paint it green to make my neighbors happy. But 2.5 acres, that's what one day, Lord, maybe, that's what I'm after. Just 2.5 acres, and I own a back split, and it's splitting my back. 4 levels, up, down. I want a bungalow. In about 10 years, hopefully long, I'm trying to push off some knee surgery. And so I want a bungalow. 3 bedrooms, maybe a basement, walkout, and an elevator. Is that an elevator? They're getting less expensive. They're more affordable. So I want an elevator, a glass one. All right? Up and down, whatever. And then I was struggling between a 3-car garage or a two-door garage. All right? But what's 2.5 acres without a shop? Every man needs a shop. I want a shop. What do I need it for? I have no idea. I will find use for it. And in my shop, I want a lift. Not because I'm a mechanic. It's just cool to say, I got a lift. Maybe I'll have an oil changing party. Guys come over with your trucks. We're just going to drink iced tea and change each other's oil on that lift. And just pretend that, we know what we're doing. All right? But that's a pipe dream. It's something that you think, maybe I want to pass this on. But is it really for me or is it for my kids? If I never get those 2.5 acres, will I still be a happy man? Should I be content with my back split? What is my portion? What is my inheritance? What am I after? Here the psalmist says, the Lord is my shepherd, therefore I have everything that I need. Because the Lord is his shepherd, because the Lord is the one that lets him rest by green meadows, because the Lord is his shepherd and he leads him beside peaceful streams, and because the Lord is his shepherd, the shepherd renews his strength. His strength is renewed because he's leading him, he's guiding him, he's not starving. This sheep has everything he needs because the good shepherd is looking after him. So when the sheep looks at the shepherd and says, because you're here, I know you're not going to lead me over a cliff because you're here, and when all the grass in this area is kind of worn out, you're going to lead us to greener pastures. The good shepherd has an eye out for the sheep, and he's looking out for the wolves, the bears, the lions, and so the sheep knows as long as that guy's there with that staff, and I fear that staff, but I've seen him use that staff with the enemy, and I've also seen him use that staff to the stubborn sheep. I trust him. I trust him. There's safety in boundaries. I need boundaries. We tend to emphasize boundaries for our kids, but parents, if we have no boundaries, watch, the same thing will happen to our children. We need boundaries. There's safety in boundaries, so parents, don't feel guilty when you discipline your kids. You're saving them. You're saving them. I'll say it again. Boundaries for children, it's healthy. Look how boundaries have saved you. So if boundaries are good for you, you better know they're good for your kids. What are your boundaries? Your boundaries is holiness. Your boundaries is the Word of God. Your boundary is knowing that the Lord is your shepherd, and as a result of who he is, you have everything you want. you have everything you need. You have everything you need. The journey that I'm going to continue to go on is one of preparation. Because let's face it, I'm not ready to see Jesus. Now, I'm ready to see him in the context I'm saved. I'm born again of the Spirit. I've repented of my sins. And if anything should happen to me today, I know I will see my Savior. But there's still more work that I know he needs to do in me. And I want him to do it. I need him to do it. I'm the bride that's preparing himself for the bridegroom, for Jesus. And I'm trying to prepare my character to be without spot and without wrinkle, but it doesn't happen overnight. It happens over the course of a lifetime. Should the Lord tarry, if I'm blessed enough to live out my days into my 80s and my 90s, so that I can somehow present myself to the bridegroom. Now, it takes roughly 12 months to prepare a decent wedding. Roughly. I know we can throw it together in a couple of weeks if we had to. But ideally, nowadays, to book the hall, you got to book a year in advance, in some places 2 years in advance. And to all you young couples that want to get married, do me a favor, okay? Check to see my availability before you book the hall. Just saying. Just saying. Okay, because I ain't canceling my vacation so that you can get married. All right? I either argue with you or with my wife. And I choose you to argue with. And don't focus so much on the celebration over the ceremony. The dance floor versus the holy ground where you make the covenant. Am I preaching to someone this morning? The celebration, it's fun, yeah. But the covenant and the vows you make are the most beautiful and the most precious. I'm going to embarrass a young couple this morning. I know I'm going to do it. Jaden, Valerie, please stand. Would you just give them an applause? I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. They've recently given their lives to Jesus. Valerie, you committed your life first, right? Yes. Yes? And then Jaden, you brought him to church. Yeah. And the Lord convicted you guys and you said, we want to get married. And I married you on Thursday this week. Yeah? You can sit. One of the most beautiful ceremonies that I've participated in. Now, it's not a competition. I've married some of you here. It was all beautiful. Okay, don't get me wrong. But you chose to write your own vows, and the words you used were beautiful to one another. Beautiful. Beautiful. One of the words you said, Jaden, made me extremely happy. You said, I promise to provide for you. Amen. And you just didn't say providing the finances, but you gave her a list. And you're a hardworking young man. Don't you dare stop. It took maybe some months to prepare that ceremony. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. And I said to him, go get her. She walked down. She's there. Go get her. One day, God the Father is going to tell Jesus, go get her. She's been preparing herself. She's been pursuing holiness. And God the Father is going to say to Jesus, now's the time. Go get your bride. That's why we do what we do when we struggle with things that we struggle with, because we're working things out and we're ironing things that are very important in regards to eternity. And so it can take a lifetime to prepare yourself to be the bride. But in a moment, God the Father will say, go and get your bride. What are we focused on? 2.5 acres? Or are we focused on the bridegroom? Psalm 16, verses 5-6 says, Lord, you alone are my inheritance. Now he's saying, okay, I have land. And this is important to note because the nation of Israel, they came out of Egypt owning nothing. He led them into the promised land where he promised Abraham hundreds of years before. He said, Abraham, to your descendants, I'm going to give you this land. Land was important. Land was an identity. Land is I have ownership. Here's my portion. I can till the land. I can feed my family. I can make some money. This is who we are. And Jewish laws had very strict laws as to what we can do with that land. That land was supposed to stay in the family. And you're supposed to do everything possible to make sure that you don't sell that land to somebody else. So much so that even when you look at the story of Ruth and Boaz, beautiful story. Another story of marriage. That Boaz redeemed land. He redeemed Ruth. We see such a beautiful story of land that was redeemed. Not just the land, but we see what the law was there, and we see what God was trying to teach them. And so the inheritance, now spiritual inheritance, and then there's land. Lord, you alone are my inheritance, my cup of blessing. On Good Friday, we talked about the bitter cup, and that was the cup that Jesus had to drink from. But here it says, you are my inheritance, and you are my cup of blessing. You see, a lot of us was like, Lord, just fill my cup. Just fill my cup. My cup. Just fill my cup, Lord. It's like we're all I want, my cup is empty. My cup is empty. She laughed because I like to, not that I like to, I want to love to serve more in my house. And so my son has left me. He's abandoned me for his beautiful wife. Where's Jude? This beautiful dude. I love you, Jude. And so now Gemma, Angelica, and Steph, they hold their cups and they go like this. And then I remember, oh yeah, let me be the gentleman and fill your cups of water. Right? Lord, fill my cup. But he's not so much concerned with what's in his cup. He recognizes that God is his cup of blessing. And whatever God puts in his cup, he's thankful. So, Lord, you alone are my inheritance, my cup of blessing. You guard all that is mine. And we've built fences and gates and alarm system to protect what is ours. But here he says, Lord, you guard all that is mine. Verse 6, the land you have given me is a pleasant land. What a wonderful inheritance. The same verse in the Christian Standard Bible says, Lord, you are my portion. So the NLT says inheritance. Lord, you are my portion and my cup of blessing. You hold my future. And if you were here on that Sunday when I had those two big bricks and I was talking about boundaries, he says, the boundary lines have fallen for me in pleasant places. Lord, you gave me my lot. You put one there and you put one there, and it's a blessing. And I'm not going to move them, Lord. I'm content with what you gave me. Now land. Okay, that's the land. Now it's like, Lord, I'm content with how you saved me. Lord, I'm content with holiness. Lord, I'm content with my boundaries. Lord, I'm okay with your no. Are you guys okay with God's no? When God says no? Are you okay when God says no? Hey, young people, listen to me. Some of you girls praying for a husband. And the Spirit of God says, no, not him. Are you going to dig in your heel? But I want him. He's so cute. He looks like Brad Pitt. But God says no. You see, the Bible says, he that finds a wife finds a good thing and favor in the eyes of God. You see, young lady, if he's not there yet, it's because he hasn't found favor in God. Or maybe you're just not ready yet. See, sometimes if you want it so bad, God will give it to you. If you want it that bad, sometimes God's like, fine, have it your way. But do you want a marriage blessed by God, or a marriage now that needs work and God has to bless it? Whenever I meet with couples, and this is just for free, all right? I ask the young man, you got a job? You got a job? Are you able to make money at something? because this woman needs to be provided for. I'm old school. You got to provide. You know, God gave Ruth Boaz. Because if you don't work, you'll be broke as. You don't want to marry no lazy as. Some of you aren't laughing. Brother, you're not laughing. You're supposed to be smiling. Okay? You see, when it comes to God being your everything, and I'll tell you this, if you're looking for a man or a woman, make sure that they're so in love with God that God is their portion. Because if Christ is all he wants, if Christ is all she wants, then you know you have something sure and safe. Because the fear of God is there. If there's no fear of God, watch out. Watch out. Psalm 73, verses 26. My flesh and my heart may fail, but God is the strength. And another translation says, God is the rock of my heart, my portion forever. Psalm 142, verse 5 says, I cry to you, Lord. I say, you are my shelter, my portion in the land of the living. Which brings me to my text, because this is the verse that's been making me come undone. Lamentations chapter 3, verses 22 to 24. And to give you some context of this, when Jeremiah the prophet was writing this, now, again, this was written to a Jewish audience, so we need to understand this. Jerusalem was destroyed. The temple was burned. People were starving. Leadership failed. Leadership collapsed. The kingdom fell. The nation was under judgment. And everything that was familiar to Jeremiah the prophet, scholars call him the weeping prophet. And I would understand why. He was weeping because the land, the pride, Jerusalem, the temple, man, the Ark of the Covenant, it was gone. It was desolate. He was looking at his land and there was nothing left. Nothing. The crown jewels, everything was gone. And Jeremiah wrote these words. And we're going to sing the hymn that was written that was inspired through this passage, which is Great is Thy Faithfulness. Jeremiah wrote, because of the Lord's great love, we are not consumed. Everything else is consumed. Everything else, it's gone. But because of his love, we are not consumed. For his compassions never fail. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. And then this is the verse. And because it did challenge me. If I'm being honest, this verse, it struck a chord in me in the most vulnerable of areas where I had to make sure, can I really answer that? Can I really say this verse? So as I read this, ask yourself, can I really mean what Jeremiah is saying? Does it really come from deep down inside? Because he says, I say to myself. Michael says to himself a lot of things, but can Michael say this to himself? The Lord is my portion, therefore I will wait for him. And I wrestled with this verse, and I wrestled with this verse, and I wrestled with this verse. Angelica happened to come through the kitchen. I said, honey, I want to read you these verses. I'm finding all these verses that they're challenging me about God being my inheritance. And is God my inheritance, or do I want the 2.5 acres? What am I really after? What do I want to get out of this life? And so I read that, and then I said to her, but what this really means is this. God gave land to the tribes of Israel. They left Egypt. God's fulfilling his covenant, his promise. They enter into Canaan, and God gives all the tribes land except for one. Except for one. And I read those passages, and Angelica goes, well, Dad, that's not fair. Everybody else gets land, but they don't. That's not fair. But that's not fair. Then it became playful, but that's not fair. And I thought to myself, yeah, well, it doesn't sound fair, but until we read the passages, and then us as new believers, as New Testament believers, understanding the person of Jesus, it starts to make sense. It starts to click. And this is where I found my freedom, and I began to weep. But man, you should have been here at the 9 a.m. service, because I was coming undone in the presence of God. In Numbers chapter 18, verse 20, it says, "And the Lord told Aaron, you will not have an inheritance in their land." Aaron was the brother of Moses, and he was part of the priestly lineage, the Levites. And it says, "There will be no portion among them for you, for I am your portion and your inheritance among the Israelites." Aaron, your tribe, your family, I'll take care of you. I'll provide for you. And God provided for the Levites very well. But he said, Aaron, you're not going to get a land. What I'm giving you is far better. It's more valuable. It's more intimate. It's more prosperous than what all the other tribes received. In Deuteronomy chapter 10, verses 8 to 9, it says, "And at that time, the Lord set apart the tribe of Levi to carry the ark of the Lord's covenant." That He set that apart. He set that tribe apart. He called them out. That word in the Hebrew, it means holiness. He called them out to holiness. In the Greek, set apart, it leans towards the word ecclesia, which means the church, the called out ones. And are we not the church, the called out ones from those that are grasping for land and grasping for ownership and my portion, and I want my stake in this world, and I want my land here. It's as if we're going to live forever in Brantford. And I got my little piece of the pie in the North End. The called out ones. Do you want to stay here, or do you want to be called out with Jesus? Do you want to be a part of this world, or do you want to work towards holiness and being the set apart ones? I will set you apart, Aaron. I'm going to call you out. Your tribe, your family, your descendants, you are going to be different from the rest, while everyone else is working hard and laboring over things. As they're laboring over things and an inheritance that it's just going to dissipate. Aaron, I'm giving you something far better. Amen. Aaron, I'm going to give you me. Hallelujah. Aaron, I'm going to be your portion. Aaron, I'm going to be your inheritance. Aaron, I'm going to take care of you. Deuteronomy goes on to say that their role will be to carry the ark of the Lord's covenant. What does that mean, church? Aaron, I'm commissioning you to carry my presence. Aaron, I'm commissioning you to be holy. Aaron, I'm commissioning you with my presence. I'm commissioning you to live out your lives like I'm there with you all the time. To stand before the Lord, to serve Him, and to pronounce blessings in His name as it is today. Verse 9 of Deuteronomy says, "For this reason, Levi does not have a portion or inheritance like his brothers. The Lord is his inheritance, as the Lord your God told him." In one of my commentaries, it says here, there's a purpose to this. But God, really? Is it fair? Is it not fair? But let's just listen to this. And I'm sure that probably almost all of us, especially parents, and I'm not just going to leave it exclusive to the parents, but young adults and young people, listen to this. Here's a purpose, because you're going to pick out a word in this. The lack of a large singular territory was designed to prevent them from being distracted from their religious duties, and to make them reliant on God and the contributions of other Israelites. The lack of that was so that they wouldn't be distracted. What's your 2.5 acres today? What are you distracted with? What is it? Be honest. Be honest. Is it your retirement? Is it your mortgage? Is it your children? What are you distracted with? What are you distracted? What has taken over? What has sidetracked you? What is now sitting on the throne of your heart? What has taken precedence over the throne of where Jesus should be sitting? What's sitting in his place? What portion are you reaching for? What is so important that you could possibly miss eternity with Jesus? What is so important here on earth? What is so important that maybe some of us were this close to missing out on Jesus, the ultimate portion, the ultimate. What is it? What is so important that has you losing your hair? Coming from me, I got stories. I'm guilty of what I'm about to say. I'm guilty. I'm guilty of making it more about what I'm leaving my kids physically than what I'm leaving my kids with spiritually. I am guilty of that. I am guilty of putting overtime so I can leave them with more money. Now, I don't get paid overtime. Don't worry about it. I'm on salary here. I'm not going to tell you what I make. It's my business. But I made it more about my house. We got to leave our kids something. We got to leave them with more than what we were given. We got to give them more. They need more. They need more. And those of you that have more and you understand that more never gets them into heaven. I'm not against more. Work hard. Pass on your house. But what would it profit a man if he gains the whole world and yet forfeits his soul? Do you want to leave your kids with just a house, or do you want to leave them with character? Yes. Do you want to leave them with just money in a bank that they may not know what to do with, or do you want to leave them with spiritual funds in their bank account so that they won't end up spiritually bankrupt one day? What is your portion? It will be their portion. Whatever you place your value on, it will be the value of your children. So am I giving up on my 2.5 acres? No. But I'm willing to give it to Jesus. And I don't need it. I don't need more grass to cut. I don't really want to spend the money on a zero-turn John Deere. And I don't want to spend half my Saturdays mowing my lawn. I want to spend more time knowing Jesus. Amen. I want to spend more time. Now, I could reflect as I'm mowing the lawn. I understand that. But the point is this, is where my treasure is, that's where my heart is. And I don't want to be distracted from doing the Lord's work. And I'm not saying this as a pastor, but all of you have been given the ministry of reconciliation. You're all called to ministry, every single one of you. That's what you signed up for. So if all you're thinking about is saving up for the future and working tirelessly for things, you're missing out on one of the greatest opportunities, which is to let Jesus be your portion, to let him be your inheritance. And again, just to be clear, because I know some emails may come in, I'm not saying don't work hard. I'm not saying don't have goals. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying what the psalmist is saying, thank you for my inheritance, but God, you're my portion. Jesus, you're my portion. On your handout, on the back page, it says source of contentment. This phrase, "the Lord is my portion," means choosing to be satisfied with God alone rather than chasing wealth, fame, or material goods. Is He your source of contentment this morning? Is He your source of hope? Saying the Lord is my portion brings hope in the midst of trials because it rests on an unchanging God rather than a changing circumstance. And I want to leave you with this. Again, on the back of the handout, I'm going to send you home with some homework today. Please reflect on this. Please reflect on this, because I'm going through this myself. And I don't want to miss God. I don't want to miss God. I watched Billy Graham's, one of his last interviews before he passed away. And the reporter, she asked him, "So what would you do differently?" He said he would have managed his itinerary better, which means he would have taken less speaking engagements, or he would have been more selective with where he was going. He would have been home more with his family. He would have been home more. He would have been home more. Why? What's at home? His wife, his children. And he said this. He goes, and I wanted to love Jesus more. I'm paraphrasing, but that's what he was saying. I wanted to love Jesus more. We get so caught up in the doing and the doing. And there's that story of Mary and Martha. Martha was doing, Mary was at the feet, and Jesus says, no. I'm not going to take that away. She has chosen the better portion. She chose the better portion. So on the back of your handout, it says, Psalm 16 says, Lord, you are my portion and my cup of blessing. You hold my future. So I got these two questions here. Please reflect on this now as I'm reading them. Which is harder for you to surrender to God right now? Your future? A parent came to me after the first service and said, Pastor, I inserted the word children here. Because I have no problem trusting God for me, but I'm a bit of control freak when it comes to my kids, and I know that I can't be with them all the time. So what are you having a hard time surrendering to God right now? Your future, your comfort, your finances, your reputation, your control, or your unanswered prayers? And what would it practically look like for Jesus himself to become your cup instead of just the one you expect to fill your cup? You see, Jesus is the better portion. I shared this in the first service, and I'm going to share it this morning. Let's pray the Lord gives me strength. About a month before Steph was going to give birth to our son Joshua, I found myself one night, because it was late, I parked the car in the Zayres parking lot on King George, and I was just pacing the parking lot. I was going around in circles. And my mouth was going, and it was one of those seasons in my life where I either looked crazy, but I was just talking out loud, and I was talking out loud because we didn't know the outcome of the pregnancy. We know what they were saying. And I was talking to the Lord, and I was saying, but Lord, we've been serving you. But Lord, we've given you our all. But Lord, we've moved. You know how many times we've moved, Lord? And I was just having this conversation as I was trying to convince God to give him a reason as to why our son should be born healed. And it got to the point where I was exhausted, I was tired, And I remember just stopping, because it's like, now I can't walk anymore. My thoughts are just overwhelming. And I stood in the middle of the parking lot closer to Walmart, and it's like I felt the Lord say to me, am I enough? And at that moment, however I was feeling, I was like, God, I got nothing left. I'm undone. I got nothing left. Lord, of course, all I want is you. Lord, whether you answer my prayer or you don't, I'm still going to serve you. You got me, God. You got me. I ain't going nowhere. I want to serve you, Lord. Yes, I want to serve you. I didn't say these words, but my heart cried out and was basically saying, you're my portion. Lord, you're my inheritance. If I have nothing left on this planet, Lord, as long as I have you, you are my shepherd. Therefore, I have everything that I need. You see, it always boils down to one thing. Can you say, like Jeremiah said, I say to myself, Lord, you are my portion? Do we have these conditions on God? If you bring healing, I'll serve you. If you never give birth to a child, will you still serve him? If you never get married, will you still serve him? If the healing never comes, will you still serve him? You see, that's the question. Will you still serve your faithful God even if he doesn't answer your prayer? You see, he either is your portion or he's not. You either are in love with him or you're not. You're either serving him because of who he is, not because of how he fills your cup, but you're serving him because he is your cup of blessing. He's either your cup of blessing or he's not. It's either or. It's either or for you. It's either or for me. He's either your bridegroom and all you have is eyes for him, or you're flirting and this has your eye and this has your distraction and this has your distraction. You see, if there's one thing God has never changed, is what he requires from me. Michael, do I have your all? Yes or no? Yes.
Amen.
Lord, you got my all. Though you slay me, yea, I will follow you. Yea, I will serve you. Lord, you got me. We're going to sing the hymn, Great is Thy Faithfulness, but this is me being as vulnerable as I possibly can this morning with you, the church. I wrote down my prayer to Jesus. I wrote down my version of Lamentations chapter 3. I wrote down my versions of Psalm 16. And this week, would you write yours? I wrote, Jesus, I'm realizing more and more that nothing in this world can truly satisfy me the way you do.
Amen.
People chase success, comfort, recognition, possessions, influence, and security. And if I'm honest, my heart can drift there too. But at the end of it all, none of those things are my inheritance. You are. You are my portion. You are my cup. You are the blessing I don't want to live without. More than ministry success, more than stability, more than answered prayers, more than 2.5 acres, more than anything this world could offer, I want you. I want your presence. I want to hear your voice. I want to feel your nearness. Thank you for guarding my life, even in seasons where I feel weak, uncertain, or stretched thin. Thank you that what you've given me is good, even when I don't always recognize it in the moment. Jesus, thank you for Stephanie. Thank you for Caleb. I inserted Jude in here. Thank you for Angelica. Thank you for Gemma. And thank you for Joshua. My greatest inheritance isn't what I possess. It's that I belong to you. And you have given yourself to me. And honestly, Lord, I still want more of you. Church, you want some good theology this morning? Just want more of Jesus. As the deer pants for streams of water, so my soul pants for you. I need the help of you older folks that are familiar with some of these hymns, because this beautiful hymn was taken from the book of Lamentation. Great is thy faithfulness. He is my portion, man. He is my inheritance. Nadine, would you lead us, please?
Great is thy faithfulness.
Would you stand?
O God, my Father. There is no shadow of turning with thee. Thou changest not, thy compassions they fail not. As thou hast been, thou forever will be.
we're going to open the altars, and if you want to come and pray, you're free to do so. The altar team is here. Continue to reflect. May you leave this place better than the way you came in. May you leave on fire for Jesus. May you leave singing Lamentations chapter 3. Lord, you are my portion. This week, you be a psalmist. And you write down your love story to Jesus. You tell him, Lord, I want you to be my inheritance. Lord, be my portion. None of this is important to me, Lord. All I want to do is see you. I want to prepare myself for my bridegroom. Church, his return is closer today than it ever was before. So let's do our best to love him more now. Now. Because our inheritance is in heaven. Amen. The altars are open. I'm going to pray. And this will just be the benediction as I pray. If you want to come forward, you can. Heavenly Father, we just thank you. We thank you for your goodness, oh God. You are so good to us. And Lord, we thank you that you have given yourself to us as our portion. Jesus, you're my portion. Jesus, you are my inheritance. And I want to know you more. We want to know you more. We love you, Lord. And until that day, may you continue to prepare us to be that bride without spot or wrinkle. So when you say to your son, Jesus, go and get her, Lord, we will be ready. Individually, that Evangel will be ready to meet you. And for this, we will be careful to give you all the praise, glory, and honor. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. Stay and pray if you wish. The altars are open. And band, if you just don't mind just singing that one more time as people come forward or whoever needs prayer.